Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today I want to share with you some things that I've learned and realizations that I have come to throughout my sobriety journey now that I am over 2 years alcohol free. If you are also on a sobriety journey or you are looking to quit drinking alcohol, then this video is going to be for you. Let's go ahead and get into it. One of the big things that I have learned throughout my sobriety journey is that alcohol made me stagnant in life, and it kept me in places that no longer served me, and it kept me with people who didn't value me, kept me in a place of not growing and not evolving. It was like Groundhog's Day, where I was just living this same day over and over again, trapped in this alcohol cycle. Something that I've really learned in sobriety and living a sober life, there has been so much growth in these 2 years of me being sober. The growth that is able to happen when you finally remove alcohol from your life is truly astounding. It is something that will shock you. You will find yourself finally doing all the things that you have wanted to do, the things that you would dream about doing when you were drinking. I know for me, when I was drinking and I would get drunk, I would have all these grand ideas that I wanted to do and things I wanted to accomplish in life. And I wasn't able to actualize those things until I got sober. I think a lot of it has to do with the fact that when we are drinking and we are consumed with alcohol and we are in that alcohol cycle, it doesn't leave a lot of space for us to be able to do these things that we want in life and to go after the goals and to make the changes that we know would be best for us, because our brain is just so tapped in to chasing that buzz, and our lives revolve around it, and it becomes our hobby, and it becomes the only thing that makes us happy. And I say this a lot when I talk about alcohol because I truly believe this, but it is so insidious. We don't necessarily realize this is happening. It doesn't seem that bad. We think, oh, we're just having fun. It's what everybody does. You know, we go out and we drink, or I'm relaxing at home. It's not a big deal. And it may not start out as a big deal, but eventually it becomes a problem. It becomes our only source of relieving stress. And now we're dependent on it to relax at the end of the day. And now we're dependent on it to be able to socialize with people. And that's where it creeps up on you. And when you are able to get some sober time and separate yourself from alcohol, you free up so much space to be creative and to tap into the things that truly bring you passion in life. In my 2 years of living alcohol free, it's like the floodgates were opened to my creativity and to my ambition and to my drive to want more in life. Alcohol, for me, kept me not only stagnant, but it kept me in a place where I was okay with the bare minimum. I was okay with just accepting bare minimum from so many areas of my life. And now that I am sober, I no longer accept the bare minimum. I want the best, and I know what I deserve, and I know what I'm capable of, and I'm just not going to tolerate half-ass measures in my life from myself, from people around me, from my relationships. I want the best. Alcohol kept me tolerant of things that I knew no longer served me, but I just didn't have the motivation or strength to get out of them. And once I got sober, I was able to slowly start to work towards and to cultivate a life that I was truly happy with and truly living. I have finally been able to go after the things that I've always wanted to do. Starting this YouTube channel was one of the first things I did in my sobriety that I had wanted to do for a long time. I had wanted to start a YouTube channel, and I had a few different ideas on what I wanted to do, but I've always wanted to help and inspire people and just share some things that I've gone through in hopes of helping others go through it as well. I would have never started my YouTube channel if I was still drinking. Another goal of mine that I have been able to actualize in my sobriety is singing again. I have always had a love for singing, and I grew up in choirs and performing, and it's just something that has always been a huge part of my soul, and it's something that I truly enjoy doing. And I mostly sing around my kids, and so they know that part of me, but I wanted to express that more outwardly, and I wanted to sing in public, to sing at events, and that was a big goal of mine. It was something that was kind of scary for me. I do have a little bit of stage fright. That's something I've always dealt with, even growing up in choirs, and performing in front of crowds has always been a little bit challenging for me because I do have a little bit of stage fright. I get kind of shy about it, but when I'm out there, I truly enjoy myself, and it's something that I love to do. So that has been something that I have been able to reconnect with in my sobriety journey. I auditioned to sing the national anthem at a baseball game for the Gwinnett Stripers in Georgia. They are affiliated with the Atlanta Braves, if you are familiar with baseball. And I got chosen to sing the national anthem. And so I got to go to the game and sing, and it was amazing. It was incredible. I was obviously very nervous leading up to it, but once I was able to get out there and sing, I felt really great about it, and it went really well, and I got lots of compliments afterwards. And one of the greatest things about all that was that my kids were there, and they were just so proud to watch their mommy sing, and they were just bragging to everybody that, did you hear my mommy sing? And it just filled me with so much joy. And again, something that I would not have been able to do if I was still stuck in that alcohol cycle. So all of that to say, reconnecting with the things that truly make you feel alive and bring you joy is something to look forward to in sobriety. And being able to reconnect with my singing has just been so amazing, and I'm so grateful for that. And I also was able to go on the Sober Motivation podcast and tell my story a little bit. And that was also something that I really had wanted to do, was, put myself out there more and share my journey in hopes of inspiring others. And I get emails and I get messages from people who have listened to my story or who have watched videos. And this isn't to brag, it just, people connect with certain aspects of my story, and it just means the world to me, because there was a time where I was very afraid of putting this kind of stuff out there and opening myself up to criticism, which I get that sometimes too, and people just being plain mean. I get a lot more positivity than the random troll mean messages, but I'm human, and those things, they still sting a little bit, and I've gotten better at taking those in stride. And I've always known that when you put yourself out there, you are opening yourself up to possible negativity and attacks. And for me, that is something that I am okay with. I learned to be all right with that, because it is worth it to me if I am inspiring just even one person. If one person feels like they're not alone and they feel like they can get sober, then it's okay. It's worth it for me to put myself out here and be vulnerable on the internet. Another thing that I have learned in my sobriety journey is that just because I'm sober doesn't mean that there aren't going to be hard things in my life. There will still be hardships and losses and setbacks, and that is just a part of life. And I know that may seem obvious. I mean, for me in the beginning, I felt like sobriety was gonna fix everything. Sobriety was going to be the thing that fixed my life. And in a lot of ways, it did. You can't control everything in life, and you can't control random things that may happen to you, or hard things that you're going to have to go through, or curveballs that are thrown your way. But the one thing that I will say is that when you are sober, it sure does make it so much easier to handle the curveballs when they come your way. It has been such a gift to be sober throughout some of the hard things that I've had to deal with, because I'm able to handle them with so much more compassion and grace. I'm able to fully be present for these things and to make sound decisions. Whereas if I were still drinking, I would probably not be able to handle them in practical, level-headed ways. Because for me, when I was drinking, I wasn't exactly sure how it was gonna go. Am I gonna drink and be like bubbly and fun, or am I gonna drink and be sad? Or am I gonna drink and be angry? So when we are sober and things come up, we can handle it. I tell you, it has just been such an amazing blessing, and I'm so grateful for my sobriety because it has kept me level-headed in situations where I might not have been level-headed in the past. And it has given me the clarity and the stability to be able to handle things with grace, even when it's something that is out of my control. When I was still drinking and curveballs would come my way, or I was experiencing hardships in my life, my solution was to drink and to mask the pain and to drink away the anxiety and the problems that I was facing. And really, that just made things worse in the long run, because instead of truly processing and working through these problems, we're just masking them and we're burying them down deep, and we'll just have to deal with them another time when they eventually resurface. So when you're sober and you're able to handle things as they come, you're able to move forward, and you're able to move forward in a quicker, more healed way. Being in sobriety has just really helped me heal, not only from things that I'm dealing with in my current situation, but it has helped me go back and revisit things that I didn't handle, things that I didn't feel, and things that I chose to drown out with alcohol. I have been able to go back and to work on these traumas and work on these pains and move through them and come out healed. And that is such a blessing. Another thing that I have learned in sobriety is that the longer I am sober, the less I think about alcohol. And if you are newly sober or you are looking to quit drinking, I know that will be a relief to hear, and it'll be comforting to hear, because I remember when I was in my early sobriety and I was just trying to get a day sober, 2 days sober. Let me just get to 5 days. Let me get past 3. I remember that was a big thing for me when I was still trying to get sober. I was going back and forth a lot, and getting past that 3-day mark was huge for me, because the 3-day mark was kind of when you're starting to feel better because the hangover is wearing off, and it's like that in between where you're feeling better and now you're like, I'm good, I can drink again, and you're like talking yourself out of it, and like the mental gymnastics of like the alcohol still has a hold on your brain and all of that. I really remember, especially in those early days, of alcohol was on my mind every second, every freaking second. And it was just holding that off to like make it through the day. And that was a big struggle in the beginning. I remember once I got to 6 months sober, it was less, but it was still there. And that temptation to just go back and to have a relief, and especially when there's stressors and things in life, and you know that is a quick release, and that was still very tempting back in the early days of sobriety. But now that I'm over 2 years sober, it's like a blip. I don't think about alcohol anymore. Of course, I think about it when I want to make a video like this, or when I'm supporting people in my Sober in Athens community on Instagram. But I'm more so thinking about sobriety and less so on like actually drinking alcohol. That is something that really doesn't cross my mind anymore. And I think it has to do with the fact that 2 years is a pretty good amount of time to break a habit. So the habit of being a daily drinker is far gone. And I have developed new habits and new ways of living to where it just doesn't cross my mind to reach for that. And the only instances where that has happened is when huge emotional pain pops up and I don't want to feel it. I will have a fleeting thought to, well, it would be nice if I could just get drunk right now. That would be great. But it's such a short-lived thought because I've lived this sober life now that I have all this rational information to squash that, because it's like, no, Danielle, like that's not going to fix anything. Your life is so much better without alcohol. Why would you do that? And so all of these other thoughts come up and it's squashed like instantly. And day to day, it is not even a blip on my radar. It is not something that I think about. It is not something that I have to like actively stop myself from drinking. And that is so amazing. And that is so much freedom to be felt in that, where you're not obsessing over alcohol anymore. And it feels so good. It feels really good to not be in that place where, I am just, am I going to drink today? Should I go? Should I go to the gas station and get beer? Should I not? No, like that, all of that was just such a pain, and it took such a mental toll on myself. And so to be free from that, to truly not have alcohol in my life, and it's not even a part of my life anymore, is such an amazing feeling. And I'm so grateful for that. And before we wrap up the video, guys, I just want to say that everything in my life has improved since I quit drinking. If you are on the fence and you are struggling right now and you are in those early days of just trying to make it one day, make it 3 days, I get it. And I just want to say, please don't give up. It is possible and it takes what it takes. I did not get sober on my first try. I went back to drinking after 6 months in 2021. And, after that last time, I was like, okay, I don't want to do this anymore. And it clicked for me that time. And none of us truly know what it is going to take to make that lasting change. And that's individual and unique to each of us. But what we do all have in common is that we are here and we are trying. And if you are watching a video like this, that means you are trying and you are on the path to getting sober. Please feel free to leave your sobriety date in the comments so that we can encourage each other and support each other on this journey. I love you guys. Take care of yourselves, and I will see you real soon in the next one. Bye.